Hello and welcome to the latest installment of My Dad Listens to This. I'm Juliet the daughter.
And as always, that makes me Kevin the dad.
And this week, we are talking about, I guess was one of the biggest albums of the 70s that I didn't know that fact until now.
Uh-huh.
All right, Tapestry by Carole King. So, Dad, what do we need to know about this album and about Carole King's legacy?
Okay, Carol Joan Klein was born February 9th, 1942 in Manhattan and grew up in Brooklyn. Her mom played piano. When Carol was curious about it at age 3, her mom taught her basic piano skills, but without actual lessons. When Carol was 4, her parents discovered she had absolute pitch, which enables her to correctly name a note just by hearing it.
Oh, so many singers would kill for that ability.
Also, her mom started giving Carol real piano lessons at age 4. Carol learned music theory, notation, and how to execute proper timing. Her mom never had to force Carol to practice. She just took to it.
Oh.
In the 1950s, she went to James Madison High School, formed a band called The Cosigns, changed her name to Carole King, and made demo records with her friend Paul Simon for $25 a session. She attended Queens College and met Jerry Goffin, who became her songwriting partner. They got married when Carol was 17 in 1959, and they had a daughter, Louise. They quit college. Jerry worked as an assistant chemist and Carol as a secretary. They wrote songs at night. Neil Sedaka, who had dated Carol in high school, had a hit with Oh, Carol.
Oh.
King responded with Oh, Neil.
Really?
That did not become a hit.
Oh.
However, Goffin and King then wrote Will You Love Me Tomorrow, which became a #1 hit for the Shirelles, the first #1 hit for a black girl group. And as the French say, Après Will You Love Me, Le Deluge.
After You Love Me, The Deluge?
Yep. Take Good Care of My Baby, Some Kind of Wonderful, Every Breath I Take, Chains, The Locomotion, Go Away Little Girl, It Might As Well Rain Until September, Up on the Roof, Don't Say Nothing Bad About My Baby, I Can't Stay Mad at You, Hey Girl, One Fine Day, in my opinion, the greatest girl group song ever. Just Once in My Life, Is This What I Get for Loving You, Don't Bring Me Down, Pleasant Valley Sunday, which Bob Dylan could have written, You Make Me Feel like a Natural Woman, and on and on and on.
You know Little Eva babysat her baby, right?
Little Eva, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And her baby, they had the baby first and then got married, but they told her dad the opposite order so he wouldn't freak out.
Probably a good idea at the time. These songs made Carol the most successful female songwriter of the latter half of the 20th century, having written or co-written 118 pop hits on the Billboard Hot 100.
She's fine. She's fine.
Yeah. In 1968, Carol and Jerry divorced, with Carol moving to Laurel Canyon in California with her 2 daughters. She formed a trio called The City with Charles Larkey, her future husband, and she would marry 2 more times after that.
Oh.
He played bass, and Danny Korchmar was on guitar. They made 1 album, but Carol's reluctance to tour did not help sales. The group broke up in 1969. Whilst in Laurel Canyon, Carol met Joni Mitchell and
James Taylor? I'm sorry.
As well as Tony Stern, with whom she collaborated on songs. Her first solo album, Writer, came out in 1970, and it did meh. She followed up with Tapestry. Taylor was recording Mudslide Slim at the same time.
Mudslide Slim?
Mm-hmm.
I guess I know what she
Well, he had a song called Mudslide Slim in the Blue Horizon. And more than a few musicians played on both of those albums concurrently. Both albums included You've Got a Friend, which became a #1 hit for Taylor.
Well, he didn't write it, so...
No, he did not. But as for Tapestry, let's look at the numbers. Certified 13 times platinum in the United States with 25 million copies sold worldwide. 4 Grammys in 1972. Album of the Year, Song of the Year for You Got a Friend, Record of the Year for It's Too Late, and Best Pop Vocal Performance Female.
Now, those aren't the Grammys where if you win one of those, it automatically kills your career, right?
No, that would be Best New Artist.
Gotcha. Okay.
Spent 318 weeks on the Billboard 200 album chart.
Nice.
302 consecutive weeks from April 1971 to January 1977.
Whoa.
The most weeks ever by a female artist until...
Adele?
Yep.
Huh, that makes
until
sense.
Adele's 21.
Oh, sounds good.
Which has spent 500 weeks as of February 2021, and I'm sure that's changed. Tapestry also spent 15 consecutive weeks at #1.
Wow.
I Feel the Earth Move / It's Too Late spent 5 weeks at #1, which is called a double A side. It was a 45, but both songs were hits.
Oh, okay.
It was inducted into National Recording Registry of the Library of Congress in 2003. Carole's put out more albums since, most notably Really Rosie, one of the best kids' records ever.
Agreed.
She wrote the music set to lyrics by Maurice Sendak. She also voiced Rosie in the TV special.
And she was perfect for it.
Yep.
For a 12-year-old kid. We don't think about it too much. It's a cartoon.
Other notable hits she had were Sweet Seasons and Jazzman. In 1982, she moved to Atlantic Records, but came back to Capitol in 1989. In 1990, she, along with Jerry Goffin, was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in the non-performer category of songwriting. In 2000, she was asked to record a version of Will You Lead as the theme song for the Gilmore Girls, which she did with her daughter Louise.
And she made a cameo in the show, I think, too.
Yeah. In 2004, she launched the Living Room Tour. An album came out in 2005, part of which was recorded at the Cape Cod Melody Tent
Oh, cool.
in Hyannis.
Have you been there?
Paul took me by it last week. It looks a lot different when it's not in the summer.
Yeah, I bet.
Because they have the tent taken down and it just rains on all the seats. In 2010, she toured with James Taylor. In 2012, she announced she was retiring from music, but she did headline the British Summertime Festival in 2016, playing all of Tapestry live for the very first time.
Aww.
In 2013, President Barack Obama presented Carole with the 5th Library of Congress Gershwin Prize for Popular Song.
That makes sense.
She became the first female composer to receive it.
Who were the other composers on the list? Did you see?
4 guys. No, I didn't bother digging that deeply.
Okay.
In 2014, the jukebox musical Beautiful, the Carole King musical, hit Broadway, winning Jessie Mueller, thank you,
Yep.
a Tony for Best Leading Actress in a leading role in a musical.
She didn't see the, Carol did, what was it? When it was being written, she said, I think this is going to be good, but she said the other part of her found, like, some of the tougher moments of her life really hard to watch.
I bet.
So she didn't go to the opening performance, but she did go see it eventually, which we're going to talk about a little bit later with one song.
Okay, because I know that she did find out that Jerry was cheating on her with one of the members of the girl group, the Cookies.
Yep, that's in the show.
Okay. In 2015, she got a Kennedy Center Honor. And in 2021, she was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame a second time, but this time as a performer.
Oh, so the first time was just a songwriter.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's different.
Different categories? Okay.
As for me, your Nana got this record when it came out, and she might still have the original vinyl.
Oh, we gotta find that.
So I've been listening to this since I was 8 years old.
And you haven't gotten sick of it?
Nope.
Good.
I got a copy for myself when I was older, and I currently have the Sony Master Sound Gold Disc Edition. I can't remember how or where I got it, but it must have been at a really good price, as gold CDs are expensive.
Yeah.
So I know that it's been reissued a couple of other times, and they've added like a couple of extra songs, but the gold edition just has the original album, and that's it.
And I think
it sounds great.
You could get it on vinyl now if you wanted.
Oh,
It's
I'm
going to
sure
be
you
way
could.
more expensive.
Oh yeah, we're talking at least $26.
Which is bull.
Shit.
All right, so let's review the album, shall we?
Yes, let's.
First track, I Feel the Earth Move. I remember when Carole King sang this with Jessie Mueller at the Tony Awards for the performance of Beautiful. They did that, and they did Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow. The first note that I have is that this album must sound amazing on vinyl because the songs have such a warmth to them naturally. You can also tell what an accomplished piano player she is from those opening notes, and throughout the song as she conveys the earth moving under her feet. And while she isn't a singer, her voice is very pleasant. For an album that came out in 1971, it doesn't feel dated. But as I wrote in my opening notes, let's hope it stays that way. Because I was like, oh, this is too good. This is too good to last. Something's going to come in and ruin it.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned the sound, because that was one of the reasons, like, one of her tours was called the Living Room Tour, because a lot of people felt that it just had this very intimate sound.
Yep.
Like, there were a lot of musicians on it who played, but it wasn't, like, in your face.
Yeah.
Okay. For me, this is just a lusty performance.
Oh, okay.
And
wow.
it is. It's like she's feeling the earth move, and we're not talking in an earthquake kind of way.
Well, there's definitely a rock.
Yep. And for me, Carole attacks the piano like Jerry Lee Lewis to put her point across.
But I'm
she's
not scared
doing,
of her.
She's not doing like his glissandos up and down, but she is just banging away at that thing, like especially when it opens.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. I mean, it's like she's just like pounding the crap
But
out
she's
of
more
those keys.
calm than he is. More calm than he is in like List, who I kind of compared Jerry Lee Lewis to because they both could wham on a piano and score a bunch of babes.
Oh yeah, but she's putting the mood of this song across
Yeah.
in her playing. And yeah, as for her voice, I was reading somewhere that they said her singing was a breakthrough because it wasn't like it wasn't a polished female voice, and
But
it
it
just
still sounded good.
yeah, and it just kind of opened the gates for a lot of women who may not have had like the prettiest voices in the world, but damn, they could still sing.
Okay, I'm gonna have to
I gotta say, with this song, I don't smoke, but even I need a cigarette after experiencing this.
Damn, okay.
This is just a classic and just a great, one of the great opening album tracks ever.
Okay, now I'm gonna make two statements.
Go ahead.
One of them, the internet might hate me for it, but her singing voice, way better than Stevie Nicks in the 70s.
Oh, I don't know. You may be thinking of maybe Stevie in the 80s.
Well, yeah, that was when the cocaine hit like a little bit more, the after
Yeah,
effects of it anyway.
yeah.
But also, I could see her duetting with Christine McVie, my bad. I think it would sound nice if they duetted together.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, do Songbird. Like, you guys do covers of each other's songs. I think it would sound great.
Oh, I think you've got a tour in the making.
Hey, does anybody want to get in on this? Music producers? Anyone? Let me know. All right, next track. So Far Away. I've heard Sarah Bareilles cover this song, and she did a pretty good job. Okay, apparently Carole King wrote this song over the course of a weekend with James Taylor in mind musically. Don't know what to say about that. Just an observation.
It's so far away, but you're not far away enough.
Yeah, take your fire and rain and go put it somewhere else. With one note, I am instantly sad. And ending with a quiet flute solo is a nice touch. I've never been in a truly long-distance relationship, but I've had friends come and go in life that I miss. This song instantly fills me with the sad nostalgia. Not the happy nostalgia, the sad nostalgia. You get the sense that both of these people are on the road doing their own thing, and Carole sort of hints that she doesn't want to stop moving, partially because if she really slows down and to stop and think about her emotions, she'll be hit with sadness, which I've been there before. And she is hit with it, but the way she expresses it is quite beautiful. I challenge anyone to listen to this song and not feel something, either for a loved one or a friend who's so far away.
Yeah, and you notice the playing on this song is subdued. How subdued?
Subdued.
Did you know that there are drums on this song?
What?
Yes.
There are drums on
There
this
are
song?
drums on this song.
I didn't hear them even with headphones.
They are there, but barely. You have to listen close. But yes, there is drumming going on in this song.
That's a
But the
testament
thing
to the
is-
drummer, I think, because they know how to play appropriately without, like,
Exactly.
whacking the shit out of the
Everyone
stands.
does because, like, Carol and the piano are up front, but everyone else, except for flute guy,
Yeah.
they're kind of in the background. And yeah, it's just a great, sad, longing song. It's like, when she gets to, doesn't anyone stay in one place anymore? It's like, if you're not crying on the inside or feeling something, then
There's no hope for you.
no, you're just a robot.
Because it's like, before this song, you're going along, you think your life is fine, and then you listen to this song, you're like, nope, shit still sucks. Next track, It's Too Late.
Is it?
Yes. The first song to feature an instrumental, but it doesn't feel too long. It's a slow burn that's paced appropriately. I find this song very mature, saying, I don't regret loving you when I did, but we don't love each other anymore, and we need to call it quits. I did relate to the first lyric a little too hard, though. Stayed in bed all morning just to pass the time. Yep, definitely been there before. So you can tell Carol's depressed, but it's more so her coming to terms with it and where her life is now. If Jerry Goffin ever made his thoughts known on this song, ooh, I would have been very interested to hear them. Another beautiful song, but maybe the drummer could have toned it down a little bit, because at one point, I don't remember when, it was like right in my ear, and I went, that's a little too aggressive, maybe dial it back a bit.
Maybe it's the point of course that it's too late. Wake up, pal.
Maybe.
Now, Toni Stern wrote the lyrics in a single day after her love affair with
Who?
James Taylor ended. So the guy was good for something.
Oh, so that's about him.
Yeah.
Huh.
And at the time this song came out, it was considered daring or nay, even revolutionary for the woman to do the breaking up. She's just like, and it's not in like a, oh, I'm so sad kind of thing. It's like, it's just
over.
too late. It's
Goodbye.
over.
Goodbye.
Yeah. And to me, Carol is just so matter of fact about it, the way that she sings. And it's like, it's too late, baby. Now it's too late. Though we really did try to make it, Something inside has died and I can't hide and I just can't fake it. No relationship for you.
Dang.
Yeah, you are not coming back from that. It is over and done with.
Yeah, really.
So go take your fire and rain and
Put it somewhere
and
else.
put it somewhere else.
We should take our fire and rain and push it somewhere else.
Just push it way, way, way down with all those other emotions. Put the lid on it.
And then maybe you'll write something we'll actually like. Next track.
Still waiting for that, by the way.
Home Again. Definitely not to be confused with the song of the same name from The Brave Little Toaster Goes to Mars. That's another song with the same title, and I was like, there's no way that's the same one. I googled it, it's not. I'm sure every musician who's ever been on tour and wants to go home can feel this. And since as of recording, it's now the holiday season just a few days after Thanksgiving, this hits home a little more this time of year. This song is in the same vein as So Far Away, but it's more about missing a place and the person you used to be rather than missing one particular person. So even if you're not a touring musician, you can relate to this if you've been away from home for a while. I recognize it's a beautiful song, but since I can't relate to it too much, it doesn't really grab me.
Mm-hmm. I think it was Robert Frost who said, home is the place where when you go there, they have to take you in.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Well, they don't have to.
That's true. That's true, as a lot of our Thanksgiving dramas can attest.
Anyway.
This song probably has a deep meaning, but I'm all about the surface. For me, it's just like, okay, she's out in this crappy weather. She's trying to get home again to feel all right, and she knows that someone is waiting for her, and she has to make it.
Mm-hmm.
She has to.
Again, relatable for the holiday season.
Yep.
Next track.
No matter what your holiday is.
Beautiful. We have some new instruments in this with a set of bongos, and I think an electric keyboard that isn't quite out of place, more just, oh, that's new.
Mm-hmm.
Simple message that we've heard before, just said in a different way. If you're kind to people, you'll feel as beautiful as you are on the inside. I think this song is perfect for when you need to pick me up to feel better. It's pleasant without being too cheery or saccharine, but I still think the song has more of an effect on people when they really need to hear its message. Like I'm at a point in my life where it's like, I feel pretty good. Oh, thanks. I already knew this, but thanks.
Uh-huh. And now we all know where the musical got its title.
Yep.
Yeah, you've got to get up every morning with a smile on your face, damn it, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how crappy you're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, okay, it was the 70s and it smacks of you are okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you going to do? Acknowledge and move on, that's what.
Yeah.
It's an okay song. I've never skipped over it.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't really, grab me, but it's not bad.
Mm-hmm. Way Over Yonder. No one really says yonder anymore, do they?
Yea, verily, they do not.
Forsooth. Don't think I used that right, but whatever, let's roll with it. This song is basically Home Again, but a redo. Not exactly a part two, but the same message. Yeah, it doesn't do much for me at all. And I don't think I'd be in a mood to listen to this at all just because the pacing is too slow. Although the background vocalist is giving it the most, and they are awesome. But I don't think a good background vocalist is enough to make this sound great, even if you made them the principal singer. And I had a realization. Is this how people feel when they listen to James Taylor and really don't like him? Because I can hear him singing this song and I went, oh no, I don't like this. Carole King, I'm really sorry, but this one was lost on me.
Well, the thing was, I've listened to this song umpteen times. And when I was listening to it yet again for the podcast, it struck me.
Okay.
Now, what's a nice Jewish girl doing singing gospel?
Mm-hmm.
Nailing it, apparently, especially on the piano. It was
Yeah.
the first time because I looked at the lyrics. They got the thing about the land of honey and crossing the river and way over yonder.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, oh my God, I get it. It
Well,
makes sense. And I think that's maybe why yonder is in the title. I could be wrong, but you could definitely pass this off as a gospel song. And legendary background singer Mary Clayton pitches in.
Mm-hmm.
And she also infamously sang background on Give Me Shelter by the Rolling Stones.
Oh.
So yeah, after let's see, 1971, 2021, after 50 years, I finally got it. It finally made sense. So I really like this.
How about that? We did this just when it turned 50 years old. Good timing.
Yeah, and I'm surprised a 50th anniversary
Something or
box
other.
or something didn't come up. Maybe it did, and you just missed it. So thus endeth side one for you vinyl maniacs out there.
Okay, kids, time to turn the record over.
We'll wait. Waiting. Processing. Okay.
Okay. Next track, You've Got a Friend. I also remember watching Carole King sing this with Jessie Mueller. This time it was when she surprised the cast of Beautiful during their fundraiser for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. She came out on stage. She said, "The word I use backstage I can't say out here, but the show is effing awesome." And then she said, "If you pledge to give now and get to a number I like, we'll all sing a song together." And at first people were hesitant until Jessie Mueller screamed, "You guys, it's Carole King! Come on!" And eventually they did raise $30,000, and then they sang this song. And to be honest, I like the key they chose for the stage show better. It was a bit lower and it had more longing to it. What?
Maybe it was a lower register because Carole couldn't hit those notes anymore.
Yeah, but it sounded really good.
Uh-huh.
This song is okay. The lyrics are great and Carole's vocals are great too, but again, it goes on for a bit too long. I think for a Friends song, I prefer Time After Time by Cyndi Lauper because it conveys the same message more succinctly. That one might also have more of a hint of romance about it, but I prefer it, and that's just a matter of personal taste.
Well, when I was a kid, there was no escaping James Taylor's version of this song.
Oh, I'm sorry.
None.
So is this poison for you a little
And
bit?
hitting number one didn't help things for me. You've got a friend who can put you to sleep. Yeah. Now, the thing is, I like Carole's version. I think it's infinitely better. Probably because she wrote it, she's singing it, and it's not JT. And there are a boatload of covers of this song out there.
Oh, yeah.
You know why?
Why?
Because it's a standard.
Uh-huh.
That's why.
Yeah.
And I really don't need to hear anyone else's version. Hers is just it for me.
All right. Where you lead. This feels like You've Got a Friend redone as a happy love song. Carole is happy to follow her man wherever he goes, even if he wants to move to New York City, while she wants to live in a house with flowers on the windowsill. But you can still put flowers on a windowsill in an apartment, just maybe not on the outside unless there's a window box.
Because the flower pot might fall over and hit a dog.
Like on Seinfeld with the air conditioner yesterday. But even with that one lyric, the song is still very happy. You get the sense that this is a relationship that will last, especially with the fade out at the end where Carole repeats the chorus over and over. And I have to say, that fade out might be the only dated part of the album because that's not really a feature on most contemporary songs anymore. So other than that, this album's pretty timeless.
Mm-hmm. Now, supposedly this was inspired by the Book of Ruth.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
there was a line in there, "Where you go, I will go."
Oh, that makes sense.
Now, the lyrics can be taken at face value or as a parody of romantic extremes. Lots of listeners took it as the former, causing Carole not to perform the song live for years because it sounded too servile, like the woman's telling the guy, "Hey, wherever you go, I'll go."
Oh, yeah. And women's lib is going on at the same time.
Yep. But when the Gilmore Girls TV show came along and the lyrics were changed to suit the show, Carole started singing it live once more, but it was the Gilmore version, which I gotta say, I've never heard.
Okay.
Now, speaking of servility,
What?
it strikes me that in You've Got a Friend, no one had or has a problem with the lyrics. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running. So, if it's a friendship, being servile is okay, but not a relationship?
I don't know what to say to that one.
Yeah, because like you said,
Because I haven't really pondered that before.
Well, it was the first time that hit me. I thought, well, wait, like you said, they're both trotting similar ground, but I thought, well, wait a minute, if the other person's just a friend, then it's okay to expect them to drop everything and come running. Whereas if you're in a relationship with the person, it's not okay to expect them to drop everything and come running. I don't know.
I don't know what to say. Listeners, what's your opinion?
Because sometimes, you can be friends with someone, but you can also take advantage of that friendship if you realize,
Yeah.
oh, wow, they'll do anything I want. Let's make it worth my time here.
Unless it becomes a toxic friendship.
Exactly.
Interesting. Next track, Will You Love Me Tomorrow? I'm surprised it's not Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow, even with still in parentheses. I don't know, because they say that a lot. I have heard the Shirelles version of this song, and I have to say I prefer this one because it's more sincere. The Shirelles is definitely more poppy and more marketable. This one is a ballad, and it really conveys the sense of fear. It's like in the movies where two people sleep together, and one of them is still up and lets slip like some sort of profound monologue while the other person's asleep. You know what I'm talking about. The premise of this song is that two people have made love, and Carole is wondering if this person will still love her come the morning, which is a natural thing to wonder, especially if you've been screwed over in your dating life before, but also because our brains are hardwired to prepare us for tragedy, and they're trying to protect us from the worst case scenario. Brene Brown calls this foreboding joy. And I think that's why everyone can relate to this song, because you really, really, really want this person to love you, and there's a good chance they might if they expressed it with their body, but you still want to hear those 3 words from their mouth to confirm it. And I can honestly say that the way the song ends, well, we won't know. One can only hope.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, this song is another standard. And like I said before, the song hit number 1 in 1960 for the Shirelles. And Carol's version came out in 1971. And that 11 years makes a difference. In the Shirelles version, the singer's virginity is at stake, plus the dawning realization of, if you have to ask, you probably already know the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in Carol's version, she slows down the tempo and turns it into more of an adult relationship song.
Yep.
Just by that slowing that down. And this reminded me of her old Brill building pal Neil Sedaka, who scored twice with Breaking Up Is Hard to Do. Once in the 60s and then in the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
And it was the same MO. The first version is fast-paced and peppy, and it's just chronicling a teenage breakup.
Teeny bopper. Yeah.
Yep. And then the second version is slowed down, and I mean, he really slowed it down.
Mm-hmm.
And it just turns into this song about divorce.
Oy.
Oh, yeah.
Ow.
Yep.
Oh, well, I know when we get to that, my heart's going to get ripped out and stomped on the ground.
Yep. And I like both versions of Will You Love Me Tomorrow, but for me, the Shirelles version will just never be topped because Shirley Owens nails it with such yearning and such hope in that voice.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next track, Smackwater Jack. A Western? Okay.
That was my Smackwater sound, by the way.
Oh, I'm going to make a statement.
Make a statement.
This is Carole King's version of Tweeter and the Monkey Man.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yes, I will accept it because it doesn't fit with the rest of the album.
And it's a story.
Yeah.
About a criminal.
Yeah.
So, Smackwater Jack goes and shoots up a church. Or as we call it in America, Tuesday.
Oh.
Yeah. Eventually, Jack is arrested by Big Jim and is hanged in front of the angry mob that helped track him down. I think this track is supposed to be a breather because we're just sitting here listening to a story after reliving memories of love and friends. It's a bit jarring, and in my opinion, you could cut this from the album and nothing would be lost. I don't even think of this as a single. I blame this on her ex. I think I'd even like to listen to this as a single. I blame this on her ex. As I must say, yeah.
All right.
Because he wrote this, and I'm like,
well, they
yeah.
did together.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the only non-personal / relationship song on the album, and it's kind of like a tall tale. But yeah, I like your Tweeter and the Monkey Man comparison. That fits nicely.
Yeah.
It's a nice shuffle song. It's just do 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 do. And the best line, and on the whole, it was a very good year for The Undertaker. And there's also some words of wisdom. You can't talk to Kyle you can't talk to a man with a shotgun in his hand.
Yeah.
And my favorite part is towards the end when the background singer's crooning, ooh, with a shotgun. It's kind of an unusual song. But let me tell you, this town does not waste time, imparting the justice. Because
That's their gun control. You die.
Yeah, because they hung old Smack now instead of later.
Yep. Oh,
but yeah, it just does not fit with the rest of the album, but it doesn't bother me. I like it.
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Next track, Tapestry. Roll credits. Fun fact, though, the music video contains a Carole King-inspired quilt.
There's a music video?
Yeah, on Vivo. Made by the Salt Creek Quilters Guild of Western Springs, Illinois. So my first note, yikes, her ex-husband really did a number on her. The tapestry is Carole's life, and one day a man comes wandering around, kind of lost, only to turn into a toad. Then the tapestry unravels when a ghostly man in black with a long beard shows up, and I think he's supposed to represent depression. Let me tell you, if this song was released in the age of Twitter, the entire internet would be clamoring to know who hurt this woman so they could track him down and serve his head up on a plate. You don't exactly feel sad, more of, dang, that's harsh. A beautiful song that came from a really dark place.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it's the title track. And it's not really my all-out favorite. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And in this song, Carole compares her life to
Yeah.
But then it turns into kind of a fairy tale about a man of fortune who reaches for gold and
Turns into a
comes
toad.
up empty and gets turned into a toad. And then I think it's death that shows up. I mean, I'm willing to go with the depression thing, but dressed in black and all that.
I don't know.
And
Well,
it's kind of like Carol's tapestry unravels, and he's come to take her back.
I don't know, because she was young when this came out, so I didn't associate it with death. Because, like, you know, she's successful, she's young, she's fine, it's not her time to go. It's just...
Yes, but will it last?
Mm.
Well, it turned out it did.
Yeah. All right, final track. You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman. If you haven't seen Aretha Franklin sing this for Carole at the Kennedy Center Honors, go Google it. It's one of the greatest performances of all time. I remember watching it on TV in real time and asking Dad, how long is she gonna keep going? Your answer? As long as she wants. So, have you ever met that one person who made your crappy life so much better because they showed up and loved you? Or you didn't realize how bad things were until they came along and helped you find the words you were looking for? This song is dedicated to them because they make you feel like your best self. Carole's version feels more intimate. You could picture her writing this at night as some sort of gift. But I like Aretha's better because it's a joyous declaration she's proud to say it. Not that Carole isn't proud, but you can tell Aretha is. But still, gotta credit Carole for writing this in the first place.
Yep, Carole and Jerry wrote it, but Aretha owns this song.
Yep.
It's hers. But I'm sure all the money that rolled in
Went to Carole.
you know, it was kind of like a
Songwriting credit.
made her feel better. Yep. Aretha's producer Jerry Wexler told Carole he wanted a natural woman song for her. Goffin and King wrote it that night and gave Wexler a credit for inspiration. I guess. Carole's version is okay. It's her on piano and on all vocals and Charles Larkey on bass. And this song has been covered a lot, even by
Who? A man?
Rod Stewart. Yes.
How?
You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Man, which I have not heard
And never will?
and never will, because
Good
that
idea.
just seems wrong on so many levels.
Yeah.
I mean, there's also a theory that you make me feel like a natural woman, like with the you make me feel good inside and all that. It tends to be more like something physical as opposed to mental, I guess.
Huh.
I mean, you can take this song on any level, but
Yeah, it's
whoever
meant to
this
be
guy
interpreted
is,
by you.
she feels good.
Yeah.
Okay, it's James Brown. And that's how the album closes.
And on that note, overall, this album is pretty good. I can see why it was popular when it came out. A lot of love went into it. Even if you don't like every song on here, you can respect what went into them, and you can't claim that she doesn't know how to write a song. So go listen to this album if you haven't already. It feels like a nice big hug.
Yeah, all in all, you need this all-time classic album in your collection. It's very necessary. If you have it, just pull it out and listen to it again. If you don't, I'm sure you can go on Spotify or wherever and just listen to the whole thing. It's very necessary.
Yeah. All right. And on that note, as always, thank you for listening to the latest installment of My Dad Listens to This. Like, comment, and subscribe, and all that jazz. If you like the episodes and you follow me on social media, I post all the episodes on social media. And if you're friends with my dad and you want a specific episode, you can mail them directly to your email inbox. Thank you for listening to another installment of My Dad Listens to This. We'll be back next time with another album to nitpick and gripe about. Dad, any final words before we sign off?
Happy Hanukkah, Carol.
Happy Hanukkah. And happy Hanukkah to any of our listeners who celebrate.